when you're both of these games now, your team has had your team has had these fast starts and gets off right away, and has been able to play with a lot of physicality. Can you just talk about is that change been the success or part of it?
Yeah, I mean, it's something we've talked about in here. We talked about the last 25 games before the playoffs, getting off the slow starts, and we, kept harping how important it was going to be in the postseason to get off to big starts, imposing ourselves, playing to our identity, taking care of the ball. Particularly against a team like this who's so explosive, you turn the ball over. So, building's been amazing. Fans have been unreal. Our guys have risen to their kind of energy, and we're locked in from the start. So you could tell when you're looking at a game plan as it comes to fruition on the floor, whether your guys are ready to play or not. Of course, it's the playoffs; they're going to be ready to play, but at what level are they focused? And that's been very high. So.
A statement game for Jaden McDaniels, it felt like. Did you feel like this game really kind of shifted his maturity where maybe you may not have got that same response from him in past games?
I mean, his activity has been another level so far in these two games. And I think a lot of it just starts from being a big presence on the glass and just, getting there, playing with a lot of force, finishing strong around the basket and being confident in his shot. And, and the job he's doing on the other end of the floor is, fighting through every single screen, getting hit a bunch. I just thought he had a special performance tonight, really special.
Chris, you've been trying to get him to go to the glass and rebound for 2 years now.
Yeah, 250 games.
Why do you think it's starting to click? Like, what do you think is bringing that out of him right now?
Well, I mean, we've been harping on it all last week. We made him do it, in his PD sessions, one-on-one, get to the glass, just get to the glass. Just kind of like old school, football drills. And we just needed it. I know we were going to need it. That's something that we haven't had. And you can see how impactful it is. So.
Through 2 games, you've had special performances from either Nikhil or Jaden, Mike tonight. Is this just the definition of the depth that you have, that even when Ant and Karl are not on their A games scoring-wise, that you have other answers to throw at them?
Yeah, I thought absolutely. We just talked about that in the locker room. Like, you never know whose night it's going to be. Teams are going to adjust and sell out to take away your main weapons offensively. We got a lot of guys that can put the ball in the basket. We're really making the right play right now. Super proud of Cat, fighting through, staying locked in through foul trouble and then having a big third for us offensively and defensively and on the glass. And, kept making the right play. They kept doubling him. He didn't shoot the ball well, but I still thought he did the right thing to unlock a lot of great shots. We didn't make those shots at halftime. I said, don't worry, those shots are going to go in. Just keep taking them, keep making them, keep creating them. So,
I was going to ask about Ant. What does it say about him that he is not fighting the game at all right now? Even usually he loves to shine on these stages, but a night like tonight where he really didn't seem to fight it at any point. Yeah,
I mean, he had his little burst there right when we needed it at most in the third. But yeah, it's been great growth for him. I thought he actually had some good looks when he had them. So it wasn't like he didn't get any quality looks. It just didn't go in for him. But I still liked the way he just keeps making the right play, and we've been preaching that. And he believes in his teammates, and that's the most important thing. So,
how much of the way you play defense against these guys, and maybe in this series, is designed to just wear them down, whether physically, mentally, or both, as the game wears on? Did you sense that that's happened in the first 2 games of the series?
Yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, it's they're the extremely experienced team. They've been in a lot of these situations, so. We have guys who like to guard, guys who take the challenge, and they have a lot of guys who can really score it. So every single time down, you got to win your fist fight, and our guys are doing it right now. So, Rudy's providing all the help needed behind them. So,
Chris, just to play off Chris's question.
Yeah.
There are players who raise the level of their intensity and performance in the playoffs. Is your group as a whole doing that defensively to this point? I mean, is sort of like your calling card, and now people get to see that?
Yeah, we've been a defensive team all season, as you know. I would say in the first half of the season we played a lot more like this. I think in the second half we kind of were a little more inconsistent with our physicality on defense. The playoffs kind of bring that out of you naturally, so that's been good for us. So to your point, I would say yes, yeah.
Chris, Karl's in foul trouble and doesn't really have it going in the first half, but you got the Conley-Gobert sort of two-man game working there. That wasn't there as much in the first game. What does it mean to kind of have that in the bag as well?
Well, it's, listen, that's been great for us. We've used that as a way to, close games as a counterbalance to Ant or Cat. And those guys are so experienced, and they have such a great chemistry. So it's like a safety blanket, to be able to do that. And I knew Mike was gonna come back with a strong game tonight. I thought the other night he just missed a lot of good shots, and tonight I think he missed his first one, but then I think he made his next 6 or something like that. So, just absolutely huge for those guys.
What are you seeing from Cat on defense?
Defense? I mean, he's moving his feet. He's got his hands out. He's competing through screens. He's really getting through things well. He's making the right switches. Then he's able to track back in and rebound. At a great clip because he's on the perimeter a lot. It can't be. I'm really excited about the way he's been guarded. So,
does it seem like at both ends of the court, you guys have had, the kind of suffocating defense we saw in November or December, but offensively, the sharing of the ball and even though, as you said, the shots weren't going in tonight, but the right play was made. Like your offensive execution was nearly as good as your defensive execution. Yeah,
that's again, all credit to those guys, Cat and Ant, who draw such a crowd, and they've been getting off of it early and easy, and that's sprung open a lot of good looks for everybody, and just their teammates are stepping up for them. So,
Chris, what will be most important moving forward in continuing to kind of disrupt their big three?
Yeah, I mean, we got to continue to bring the same level of focus to the game plan. I think continue to get off the good starts. You don't want to chase the game against them, and just kind of keep imposing our defensive kind of personality, if you will. So,
Chris, you look at McDaniels through his career, and there's 8 points and 3 rebounds some of those nights, and you're saying, you see him play defense, but what you've seen in practice when nobody else is watching, or are you just saying, man, if this kid ever becomes more aggressive or whatever?
I think it's always there. I think it's always been there. We just have a team full of guys that, we have the Mike Rudy combination. We have Ant. We have Cat. And he just has to find ways around those guys to impact the game when the ball is moving. We've said all season long, when the ball's moving, it really brings Jaden's game to life. The ball is moving right now. It has been for quite a while, and he's playing as a result of that. He's kind of always been the barometer of our offense. There's things that he can do, and at times we might need to put the ball in his hands a little bit more. But he's just making the right play off the ball all the time, and that's important for the way that we're playing and the way that our the attention that our other guys are drawing. So,
considering circumstances, is that the best you've ever seen?
Probably, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Chris, did you get clarity in the first half on the technical that Jaden got? Looked like him and Devin skirmish, but
I thought it was going to be a classic double technical. They said, Booker had pushed. That was the foul. The retaliation was the technical. So that was it.
And then how close was Kyle Anderson to playing?
To be determined. We'll see tomorrow. So,
Chris, a lot of teams, would desperately want a guy like Jaden or Nikhil on their roster. Just what does it mean, especially as you get into the playoffs, to have 2?
Yeah, it's a luxury. It's an absolute luxury. Then we have Ant out there too. 3 point of attack defenders. Most teams, have 1 or are lucky to have 1. We have 3, and then we can keep flipping matchups around based on, different traits or characteristics that guys do or don't do well on, in defense. So,
awesome. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, guys.